takes the same guerrilla tactics Scoia'tael list as well, and we are into game 1 of the World Cup deciding matchup final.
Okay, let's go. We do see
Let's go.
Nice find, and yeah, Gwent Matol is required in chat. You can continue watching the stream only if you put Matol Gwent in chat. Matol Gwent emote is the greatest invention of Paps, who invented like a billion things for Gwent, different streamers, events, etc., card reveals. But yeah, let's go. Matol Gwent, Gwent World Cup 2024, and oh wait. Ah yeah, Matol just reacted to you. I was like, how Matol knows that it's time to post the Matol Gwent in chat? What the fuck?
It's funny. I think this will be funny for me and obviously for you, but you said that, and the rest of the world won't see it won't know for 20 minutes to do that. But I'm in the future, so yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. Okay, so we see Vernicel's command, a 4-power engine that is getting locked almost every time. Whatever you play, there are dwarves, there are animals that block it. And so here, yeah, Calvit is doing the deed of blocking his own engine. Not a good leader for the Empire.
No, certainly not. Not the resistance is not faring well on behalf of Sanvanter yet, but we do see good. That does give fantastic value to the slave infantry. And again, this is a as a reminder for chat, this is a really interesting Nilfgaard list from Sanvanter, particularly with the Asire can be really interesting, allowing you some good value on the replay. Playing Yennefer's Invocation, and of course it's a Shupe list, so anything is possible when you're part of a Shupe.
Yeah, the second Shupe from Asire with the Arcane Tome might be the plan, but you have flexibility, and well, you need to find Shupe before, so yeah, it's like a round 2, round 3 consideration. We probably will have this Arcane Tome held for a while.
You're dead already.
Schirru wise, the board is kinda meh at the moment, so yeah, Schirru's time to shine will be somewhere later. As I say, it 1/6 appears, but at the same time Catburger just has 2 of them already on the board, so you cannot try to line up something on 6s unless you overcommit with your leader charges.
Yeah, and that Schirru is going to be really nice late. If Catburger can hold on to it to them, which I imagine that they want to, just to make sure that you can, like you said, use a combination of board damage and leader charges to line up removing assimilate engines. Like there's a ton of value to that. So we'll see how this goes. But for right now,
okay, so it goes for the Shupe.
Assumedly the Shupe.
No, okay. I see. I was not familiar with your game, Mr. Sanvanter.
I thought the same thing. I assume because the Asire is in hand that you play the Shupe this round, so then you shuffle it back in and give yourself the chance to find it again. Because the earlier you play the Asire,
the deck is ordered,
the odds.
And good luck getting this Shupe into a favorable position. But alright. So Dwarven Chariots, after being nerfed to 2-power, see far less play, but Catburger says I like it nonetheless, even if only for the Cranmer value. And protection.
Curious what we see here. There's a lot of choices, and we see the Simla, so Catburger definitely pushing to win on even here, which makes sense because the Nilfgaard deck is weak from blue coin.
What are his points now?
And with the Denny Kramer in hand, opts to both thin and jam tempo with the Armorer's Workshop. If you're Sanvanter here, it might make sense to play another card, mostly because then you get the, like, if you're going to lose on even, you might as well get out the Kramer.
Is he even getting any value anymore?
If magic dies, this world
Isn't it
dies
better
with
to leave the Cranmer for your opponent to have no payoff for? I'm not sure. I think I would prefer passing there, but maybe, yeah, we see him having other plans. Catburger
Yeah, you're right,
has Squirrel, why not?
Yeah, you're right to the point that the options on the Kramer is that you'd have something like a Pyrotech plus a Mahakam pass. But Sanvanter opts here to take the loss uneven, defend the bleed, which you can do fairly successfully with the Torres, because you can always hold back the Torres, and be able to play your cards on even with the COC, the COC and the Heatwave as threats from Catburger. But obviously from the Calvite, really nice draws here for from Blue Coin, but it's one of those things where like that obviously losing on even and playing Calvite and just encourages the opponent to push you. So we'll see what happens here. Is it double last say or is it a push? I'm assuming it's a push.
Yeah, as you mentioned, the push is also kind of hard to achieve because of the Taurus reach after your opponent passes. That Curse of Corruption looks nice, but it never finds Taurus because, yeah, you'll be forced to pass before. Yeah, there was an interesting line if Catburger managed to find bronzes into his hand of denying Taurus value because you just not giving your opponent targets for it. But yeah, now we see pass Rune Mage.
Naturally.
Checking your opponent's top deck, you know that Heatwave is incoming.
And like you said, it's so now down a card, and also because Sanvanter took some mulligans some gold cards to make the hand more playable, is really hoping to find some value here. I mean, drew a battle prep and a squirrel. Just doesn't get lucky and find on the reshuffle the Lydia or the Redea again. So lacking both value and proactivity here is just not great for Sanvanter. Not looking good for our hero.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many units he ends up this game with, considering all the damage. Catburger will have, well, his last unit play, 3 leader charges, unless they are spent before. But yeah, between COC, Heatwave, the Rock Barrage. He did miss the Oneiromancy, what a card. Man, every time I see that card in deck round 3, I'm like, what are we even doing with Oneiromancy in the game?
Yeah, and we see here so there will be some Kramer value. We see the Henry now.
That smells of fun. Mano is risky because of Black of Plan being a tactic. And Sanvanter's options are, well, Saskia has a lot of utility, although plays into the Schirrus. At the moment, double 8 created on the board by Sanvanter, which already invites Schirru on 8s.
You shall know the Emperor's fury!
A hidden synergy we didn't expect to see is Afan's armor and Cranmer's interaction with armor. Ooh, extra point.
It's true.
Extra point where you don't expect it.
And it does give you the option. It does give you that extra point, but also, yeah, it's the best. I think it's obviously it's the correct option because, like you said, you certainly don't want to put the Menno in there and then give the extra thinning or get the extra value from the tactic if it's still in deck. But I'm curious what gets played off of the abduction here. If you are Sanvanter, there's a lot of good options here, but I'm also curious. I'd be curious to know the logic of the mulliganing the Yennefer's Invocation. Sanvanter mulligan the Yenvo, and I just thought that, like, even if it plays for 4 points, seizing an enemy unit, I just imagined that there would be some value to being a bit uninteractive into a list that's playing a lot of control, but...
Yeah, but I suppose almost every other card is kinda a unit that plays onto the board, so you cannot really avoid it.
True, and also presumably you also are gonna need, he needed some proactivity, because if you play the Torres to open, then it just gets clapped anyway. So we see the leader going first here.
Is it Heatwave on Mahakam Pass? To avoid Schirru?
Yeah. Yep. You called it right. That was definitely the right consideration.
You mistake stars reflected in
Also, the early Vilgeforts to deny the Kramer value there as well. So at this point, Kramer is going to play exactly for 6 points. So that's something, I suppose.
Yeah, could have been Pyrotechnician pulled out of the deck, but a lucky one from Sanvanter.
You're right, it was a 50-50 that it pulls out the Pyrotech.
So that's minus 3 points and minus 2 armor on it, so would have been more onto the Kramer.
And the tricky thing about the abduction here is, like, the Vivian and the Rosa and stuff, sure they play, even the Menno. Yeah, they all play for points, but they're also mostly points on your own side of the board that get removed anyway. So you kind of want, I have no idea. I'm curious to see what Sanvanter plays, because I have no idea what the right line, like what the most optimal line is with this abduction.
Yeah.
And it is we do see the Saskia now.
Okay, goes for the damage.
Of course, the Saskia will die here very easily to this Rock Barrage.
Never have.
Yeah. Milva is fine with that.
Not a lot of positive points on Catburger's side of the board, which is good.
Yeah, the question is, how do you dodge? So
Schirru.
1, 2, 3, 4. Schirru, he can get Schirru to 8 with the Vitality Flask, right? Because of the double assay. Unless I miscounted now, but yeah, 2 cards down now for Sanvanter, so you can just get the 8s uninterrupted.
Right, you can get the 8s in a turn. When the Torres goes to the Torres will, you have to assume if your Catburger go to 6 or 6 adjacent, 6 or 7 at some point. Okay, so it looks like he's going to be opting for the 8s.
So we got the abduction.
But even still, like, this is the thing, is if Sanvanter can play a bit low to the ground here and get value from playing, like, I think of like Shupe, like even 3 deal 3 is only a 6-point body. Again, that plays in, there's just not much you can do about not, like, playing into Schirru if you're Sanvanter, but Sanvanter is also up 18 points.
Yeah.
So we'll see if maybe it's a Menno.
Yeah, would have been nice to have like a damage tactic, reducing the amount of points on Catburger's side even more, but doesn't seem.
Otherwise,
like
it's just boosts, right? It's Boo, Hurt, and Anointment, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
So maybe it's just then Ivor.
Yeah, goes for the damage.
Yep, takes the 8 points on the damage, staying low to the ground. Catburger's got at least 6 points, well, at least 5 points, but really 6, assumedly 6 on board with the Vial, another 9 with the leader, plus any Milva value if you play it offensively.
Yeah, there is 3 So what's the plan for Cat Burger? You are
Don't worry. This
okay, yeah. I was thinking you don't really want to kill at no. You don't want to interrupt 8s for certain. Other than that,
Do you Shupe transform here? Is that even a winning line, depending on what you assume Catburger has in hand?
That's definitely an interesting line. But wait, the transform works when you have no cards, right? Unlike some interactions.
I've never done it.
I forgot. I haven't seen it for like 3 months, so I don't remember. When Erland is not in the meta, you see less of it, and the knowledge fades.
Yeah, I can't recall. Although I still thought that like the problem is that you know that 3 deal 3 plays right into 2 6s, or plays into a 6 and a 7, which will become 2 6s on Schirru in a whole bunch of ways. But 3 deal 3 is probably the lowest to the ground that you go.
Okay,
Opts instead to go with Knight. So the Knight gets COC'd. And then plus the Schirru, there's like 15 points.
Yeah, that's just too much considering there is still full leader.
Yeah, and that's that. Yep. Yeah, the COC would be 10. The Schirru plays for 16 is 26, and that's like you said before the leader and the vitality. So close there. I think some draws. I think the bad draws on the third round mulligans did Sanvanter in there for sure. Well,
okay.
it started with losing on even and then going down a card, but especially then when you mulligan Redea and you mulligan Lydia, and then you don't, and then instead you find Squirrel and Battle Prep and a dead Van Morleham servant. It's certainly not doing you any favors. Maybe they end up, maybe Gwent ends up circling back and being a thing, but we'll see. I still hope because it doesn't cost me anything to hope. So.
Yeah, but I'm also not trying to sell this hope to anyone because
no.
Yeah, that's a long shot, and they might just.
You don't want to sell. You don't want to Elon Musk anybody a Cybertruck. You can sell. You could sell me anything, Rabbit. I'd believe you. I trust you.
We are selling people Cyber Gwent.
Yes, and unlike a Cybertruck, Cyber Gwent will not cause you to lose a finger if you get your hand near the trunk.
Yeah.
You will, however, get poisoned to hell from Catburger if you're Sanvanter and you're not careful. As we are going to see at least once played Sanvanter's dwarf list, and that's coming from Red Coin and Catburger taking Syndicate, the Siggy Reuven flavor of Pirates Cove that's been making its way around. Again, we'll call out that this list plays Kalkstein as a Purify and Tunnel Drill, which is slightly different than maybe the list you've been seeing on ladder. But otherwise, that's the matchup for Game 2.
Yeah. So we've seen the masterfully done string pulling by who was playing Violet Kiraman against Mystical a couple of hours ago. Now let's see if Catburger can achieve the same. If you guys missed it, would recommend watching Syndicate of Violet Kiraman versus Mystical's alumni, because all the students just went partying into the Novigrad instead of studying in Oxenfurt, Banart and Rituza. They were like, yeah, party time, city life, let's go. Okay, so there is a job for drill. It's on the front row. It tries to be a skirmisher, but unless Catburger needs coins for something, yeah, it should be just a dead dwarf.
And we'll see here if the other skirm gets played, or if Sanvanter opts to dump some other cards here. He's got 2 Mahakam defenders in hand that can be, that can be cannon fodder essentially, because they're always going to get controlled generally in a variety of ways. At a minimum, the Bloody Good Friends takes the armor off and turns off the engine. But we do see the other skirm get played. I was curious if Sanvanter might hold back the skirm because the damage is really helpful, although you assume it gets controlled. And instead we see it pulling the strings, so it gets yoinked, which is even worse.
Yeah. So wholesome dwarfs are, well, how wholesome they are. They hired Scoia'tael to just kill whoever they don't like. They are playing double spear, so they are armored not only by the commonly used axes, but also spears. So they're actually like war dwarfs. But yeah,
and it is also interesting. It's interesting here that for all of the provisions Katburger has played so far, it's still a one-card game, right? Sanvanter is still within reach here. So this, if you're Sanvanter, this got to feel pretty good to that extent. Although I'd imagine you at some point would really like at least one dwarf to stick, so that if you want to do your thinning with the volunteers this round, or catch up with using Nilfgaardian Justice as your catch-up card, you're going to need a dwarf to stick on the board.
Yeah.
And that's just not going to happen here if... yeah. Yep, that's just not going to happen.
Very, like, low to the ground strings being pulled, 1 power units. But does the job done and clears Sanvanter side of the board. Zoltan requires doors on the board. It's like,
I was gonna say, if you jam the Chevet, the problem is that Justice doesn't catch doesn't catch you up because you have the other volunteer in hand.
Yeah.
Or else it would be exactly enough points with the Crown Splitter spawn, with the Cleaver spawn, and then you'd pull both the dwarves. But either way, I think if you're Sanvanter there, you're probably not mad about that round. Like, it still feels really bad that Syndicate's got all of these cards in a long round, but you know, you didn't really commit anything, and now you just get to see if I think if you are Sanvanter, you kind of have to hope that Katburger misses some cards, and we can already tell Katburger did not, in fact, miss anything of value.
Yeah. And what he missed, or wants, yeah, Sigurrugan is here to provide. Sigi got the wares.
I don't want to call this prematurely per se, but I think this points wise will get out of hand pretty quickly for Katburger. There's just so many threats.
Nice roll from Mahakam pass. So Sanvanter will take any help possible. No one will give him Brewer Hook or Heatwave. Big misses there.
I also just realized I looked at one of the cards incorrectly. Sanvanter missed the Royal Decree or the Brewer, so yeah, this is definitely.
Yeah.
I don't want to call it early, but you need that card on the board. If anything, you need access to the Brewer to draw out the control, and that's not going to happen here.
Yeah, at the moment, Katburger doesn't know that Brewer is not there, so let's see if he reacts in some form. But no, you need to see the Brewer. I guess the consideration was maybe to junior some of the dwarfs, but there was like no money for that. The dwarf extermination program was not applied to Novigrad as of now.
Dance! Dance! Dance with my death!
Yeah, there is the swarm, the 2 swarm payoff cards in hand for Sanvanter, but it doesn't matter to the extent that you're just not going to get value without you're not going to be able to trade to get the value of putting the Brewer on the board, and then of course the value of trading for the removal for it. So it's But like you said, there might be something to say for the fact that Catburger doesn't know that. But I think Catburger is going to realize it fairly quickly. Assumedly, this little bird gets controlled with a spear, since the backup plan now won't work since the Novigrad click was played after. So the target for the backup plan would be the blind eye, right?
No. It's the last card landing, so it will be, but you'd actually need to find the 3 damage.
Yeah, imagine finding 3 damage.
Also, the early blind eye tag coming from that Novigrad click is quite nice.
And having the other little bird in hand, which is, other than a random pull on the Eventide Plunder, is the only other way in Catburger's deck to be able to boost a unit on board. So Catburger having both of those essentially denies controlling the little bird. Now there's 2 on board, so does removing one of them even matter?
Yeah. And they are quite good at spending as well, but okay, decides to deny at least some spending. Okay, so
go ahead, I'm sorry.
We have the Barclay elves that plays for points on 1 row, same as Zoltan basically. Zoltan himself, like, points are there, but we've seen Syndicate doing the points. It's not the same as many decks, just carefully putting like 10 points per turn onto the board. Syndicate goes, bruh, we are closing 100 now. And like, you cannot really... Okay, there is no Brewer Hook, but other than that, the hand is almost perfect that you want to see. This is also that giveaway that Brewer is not there.
Yep.
Full row, what? Spacing issues?
Yeah, there will be here because it's 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, Zoltan can feel this by himself.
And so Zoltan Warrior is gonna miss. I mean, it's like you miss a bunch of points either way. Here with how this all went. This is the other reason why, of course, like in a perfect world, dwarves, you win round 1, you push round 2 with company, swarming company, Brewer. It generally gets you ahead enough that you can either opt to pass or continue to bleed, and then in a shorter round 3 with the Zoltan Warrior, especially if Zoltan Warrior is infused with Eudora, like that feels really nice. But you go into a 10 card and 9 card round 3, and we're seeing sadly what happens as a result.
Yeah. So this is how many points on Dark Eyes? Like pretty decent. What, 16? Oh, something. Pretty decent
16,
for
yeah.
a 6p card.
Can use it. Not sure for what just yet,
But yeah, that just not good enough, most likely. Okay, tallest unit gets its shield popped, so that collusion damage is going through.
And now we see the Siggy.
I couldn't give a shit.
The anatomical changes slightly exceed my expectations.
Why does it look close still? I don't understand.
Yeah, sadly, I mean, this will still play for so there's 13 here, but the problem, like you said, is the spacing piece, and Catburger knows that now, so this will be the shady vendor, and then you hold the junior for the end, and ironically enough, if space were not an issue, Sanvanter actually would have done really well here.
Oh, okay, there is some space.
I'm just kidding. We know things, and I used the backseating knowledge of seeing all the cards to know that. So the Zoltan at least will play for the damage in the Eudora. It's still not enough here. Yeah, the the front row Shady Vendor would have also gotten out the would have gotten the coins back from and gotten out the King of Beggars. It would have been another 15, 17 points for the Syndicate player, and Catburger takes game 2.
It is between Joe and Holder. Let's see if Sanvanter can find the lines. He's playing a Shupe version, so that means something, right? You have Shupe lock, you have maybe, yeah, Invocation. Don't remember if there was one before, but yeah, maybe some better lines can be found with the creates. Radea also has the lock.
Onward, sons of
Okay, so the
Nilfgaard!
standard, but this time around there was no Henry in the opening hand anyway. And we see that Catburger is establishing location early on.
We'll follow you
Not
always.
many things to control, honestly, in this Shupe list, but yeah, once the
True, it's
board...
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but he wants the potential to control stuff, I guess, and Slam's quite an expensive location from Oniromancy already, without the support of Gwentfinity as well, which is kinda weird if your round 1 doesn't go according to plan. You have
Yeah, I
two
think
dead cards.
I think exactly. I think for Catburger, it's you look at the you look at your hand and you realize that you know, if you want to make an effort at pushing here, that you're going to need to play in. But I'm looking at the hand. I'm kind of curious, like, you know, how do you expect to push
Oh, look at this Lydia.
this
Primal-
Lydia?
Primal Savagery, dead blow with no particular setup.
13 for 8 is certainly not terrible. It's not, you know, you want to, in a perfect world, you play the Lydia when there's value on top against the assimilate and so on, but certainly not terrible. And looking at Catburger's hand, the squirrel on the Aneromancy here by Sanvanter is actually pretty painful.
Yeah, look at those golds from left to right. Okay, Max is there, but Drakaturtle, Knut, Sigvald, Salvat, Sigdriff is right. Yeah, good luck. Good luck. Fine.
Yeah, now that like you pointed out, now that you've played the Kertrold and now the Svalblood Totem, it's not just the golds, but like the Dwim, like the Dwim could be a bricked card, which now without the Neuromancy makes it that much worse. The only other value that you've got in your hand that you really want is the Heat Wave. I mean, this is not a bad a huge, an absolutely huge
Massive.
Obsidian Mirror.
Yeah, I just don't see how, yeah, things
13
work
for
out.
4, broken.
Like, at least Catburger is on red coin, but he started with committing expensive stuff, or semi-expensive stuff, and then started playing cheaper ones. Sanvanter still has Slave Infantry for like 9 points. If you want to
you could
turn
play
off...
it as a 9 on the Priest. You can play it for 8 immediately. Flipping one of the 4s and then playing the body of the infantry next to the priest and letting it tick for a net of 1 point per turn. I mean, this is looking like a good spot to be in without having to overcommit here if you're Sanvanter.
Do you say goodbye
Ops to pass.
I don't know. I'd probably send Arcane Tome your opponent's way as well. We definitely misinterpreted the situation.
I was really surprised. I guess maybe if Sanvanter puts Catburger on better hand value, then you say you certainly don't want to lose on even. But I mean, yeah, I don't know. Looking at that board state, if you're I'm surprised he didn't keep going there. I mean, I guess the servant is a dead card for at only 4 points, but
Yeah, but there was like Wilgefort's
it could have
catch-up mechanic, invocation from Arcane Tome.
Maybe it's also if you're Sanvanter that you didn't want to win the round because you wanted to play the Torres for the spying value, and you didn't want to get in the position that you were in before with the Terra Nova of not being able to
Just a moment. I'd ask what Terra Nova?
Oh, I'm sorry. That's right. There's no Terra Nova in this list.
Yeah, this is the Shupe version. And
That's right.
Yeah, that's kinda weird. Okay, so at least Shupe trades with Wimviandra, which justifies having them, but yeah, the second one is bricked anyway. Yeah, that might have been the reason Catburger just put in that location. If you want to play Shupe round 1, play it. Otherwise, I'm in trouble later on if you destroy my location and I'm relying on it and keeping Wimviandras. So that kind of makes sense, I suppose. To just slam
the
it early.
Arcane Tome is not great here for Sanvanter, and I think now maybe you're less likely to want to give it back. But we see Afan for the 30th time. The Afan gets played here.
Yeah, he's like built in into Henry package, I feel like. But this time around, at least it can be utilized as Catburger can mulligan it away, and it can actually comes out.
I would say those are all good cards too. For those are all good options. Obviously, a lot of tall bodies, so the Turgvi is nice. Could have also very easily been I say easily, been Madman Lugos. We had a Madman Lugos sighting at least, Scoia'tael. We've seen it finally once.
Your magic can't
Yeah, I guess we get Maxi Shuffle, and this is the weak point of Henry. Like, yeah, take those golds and fly away with them. Shuffle your deck. Although Ardal, Doedric are kinda Shelmar
and Tourney Shelmar might be the most annoying card that he could pull. Maybe the Leo, though you don't expect to be able to get to 9 except with the Redea if it doesn't take any damage first.
I love the smell of a burning village in the morning.
Catburger could keep trading cards here if he wanted to, which would make sense with the Calvite being played in round 1 by Sanvanter.
Maxi getting extra damage for no reason. Feels bad. Okay, so Leo question is resolved.
With Catburger, you maybe trade like you could still afford to trade here if you wanted to, but instead opts out. So Catburger will be down a card going into round 3.
There are 2, like 1 removal, Radea, into the lock possibilities. 2. What's the abduction? Fate probably finds value still.
Yeah, you've got to imagine that Catburger is going to mulligan the Afan, so it certainly will never be a brick. Obviously, Afan is not good, but at least the abduction's not bricked.
Artlong is of course expensive, but at the same time, yeah, the Doedric also is not really that great for Catburger, so your abduction should be finding some value.
And it looks like the round 1 Squirrel of the Aneromancy really paying off here with 2 4Ps in hand for Catburger. And then with the, we're not sure, I'm not sure if the Maxi was a shuffle or a hold, but either way, adding extra units into deck, if it was a shuffle, makes the mulligans worse.
If magic dies, this world dies with it.
And we see the Yenvo go back in deck for Sanvanter.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that'll be really nice to play on the Arcane Tome, and of course you could play it last and not give the Tome back, which is really great too.
So yeah, early to say, anything can happen as usual, but should be Nilfgaard's game, honestly.
Yeah, this could be the first Henry win that we see.
Yeah.
Oh, please take Terra Crew Plunderer just for me.
World shall
He doesn't
know,
know,
he
he
took-
didn't have the information.
Sanvanter took the correct card, but not the card I wanted. It's fine. Sigdrifa's right here is at least an 8. Okay. Opts to take the Sigvald, which makes sense looking at the hand in the face of the Svalblood. Also, you've got to feel really good knowing with that now this hand information. If you're Sanvanter, you know that you're in a good spot here.
Yeah.
Who are you to judge us?
Greatsword is also a decent find since cards are getting
row lock.
damaged.
Fear, but of danger.
Yep, and you know that you can now float and hold the lock because there's no purify, which is good.
So this gets used immediately, but it's just playing into a... Okay, yeah, not playing into Vilgefortz, but used offensively, it's less threatening. How many? Only one. One extra unit for Shelmar to count, so 10-point abduction, why not?
The Sigdrifa's right is not doing anything either. I mean, at most it's pulling back either a 4 strength warrior or a 3 power engine that you'll have trouble kind of proccing. So yeah, it makes sense for Sanvanter to not want to obviously Vilgefortz yet.
Yeah,
Catburger in a tricky spot here.
doesn't have points by the
Yeah.
looks of it. Even with the explosion and your opponent taking the damage multiple times. Seems a bit short. What's the Vilgefortz pool? 4 or 5? Afan!
Hey, fun!
What a broken Skellige card. With armor jumping out, tanking at least once Volblood Pink. Insane.
So of course now you can safely collar the Sigvald if you want. You know the deck, so you know. Or I'm sorry, you can't do that if you're not going to Vilgefortz first. So you hold the collar, and you can just Yenvo the Sigvald here, knowing that there's no other damage left in deck. Arcane Tome so that you can either Vilgefortz or Yenvo at last. That works too.
Given Catburger, Arcane Tome doesn't really a must do anything. Yeah, this
No,
is
but
like worst Siggy's right
Yep.
I've seen recently.
Yeah, that's the worst Sigdrifa's right I've seen in a really long time.
Usually at least something goes there. But yeah, 4 points is unacceptable. So you just wait, you cannot discard.
No, you just
But,
yeah,
yeah.
you killed the Sigvald. I think Sanvanter probably just, unless he's just checking the deck to make sure that the points make sense. And there we go. So Henry through with a W.
Yeah, so we are potentially seeing more dwarfs today.
I would imagine you take Onslaught here. Yeah, cool. So we are going to get to see this Sunset Wanderers based Compass Pirate list from Sanvanter, and then Catburger will again try to get through with will again try to get through, but from the other coin with their Ursine Ritual list.
Okay, I'm interested how it goes. Haven't really seen this matchup much. Sunset Wanderers version I definitely haven't witnessed in a while for the Pirates. Okay, let's go. We do see musicians falling out of the deck already, so animal-based deck. Animals and pirates. The glaring lack of seagulls in the deck then, if we have dogs and cats and dogs and horses, why not seagulls? But okay, we will not disqualify anyone for not tag-based deck building. Okay, so Vabjorn into the ship. The ship is not really easy to deal with. Self-wound, of course, likes to take damage, but you don't like taking damage on random cards like Gwynviandras, Maxis, Squirrels. Can of course develop Knut and answer it immediately.
Yeah, if you want to compete for this round of your cat burger, then yeah, presumably you have to play in a way where you just assume that Sanvanter doesn't have tall punish and or you're willing to commit the Olgierd. But we'll see here, Sanvanter is just happy to continue to build value.
Women,
Although only a couple of armor gaining units in hand, you'd obviously prefer to have the Bjorn and the particularly the Demon Smugglers here, but still either way the purpose of this pirates list is not focused around generating armor in the same way some of the other ones are, and instead it's just about being able to play for maximum value against the opponent. We do see Catburger play the Olgierd here, which does make life a little more challenging for Sanvanter. You obviously don't want to heat wave this if you can avoid it.
I feed the waters.
Does catch the wolf, the Skellige Wolves infusion, so flips that, and yeah, we do see here Sanvanter back ahead in front of Catburger on even cards.
Yeah, that's what pirates like to do. Just
Kill wolves.
Kill wolves, put up some mad points, win games. But yeah, amount of animals is amazing here from Sanvanter. You only had one cat to show, and he has cats, dogs, wolves now as well out of nowhere.
It's true. Horses. He's got a horse and a chicken.
Yeah.
We do see the second boat come down here as Sanvanter is also running out of cards to play. The Freya's Blessing is not active yet. You can't. There's no second Bloodthirst yet on the Arborage, the Abortage rather, the Arbidage. And Catburger opts to prevent that from happening anyway by using leader charges to kill his own bloodthirsted unit so that it doesn't create two bloodthirsts. So that's clever.
Okay, so the Freya's Blessing has two ships now.
A naval supremacy here?
Yeah, you can.
Like how much longer can Catburger prevent having the ability for for extra bloodthirst on board, right?
Problem is there are no pirates, right?
Yeah, and Sanvanter opts to take the pass. Okay, so if you're Catburger, you're not mad about this. No Demon Smugglers, even with the double boat. No Demon Smugglers, no Demon Pirates in hand, which is really the way that a list like this wants to push. And now the challenge is that the Terror of the Seas and the boat from Naval Supremacy are the only boats left for the Demon Smugglers. Sometimes you want to play the Demon Pirates for thinning, but still going to be a bit of a challenge here.
Yeah, this also gives Catburger a chance to fix his hand, as it was kinda filled with Maxis and Squirrels. He might keep the cards and just opt to pass at some point, but with Gwynviandra, card roll there, we are probably seeing him playing quite a few here. I'm not even sure, like, should take a mulligan here, I feel like. Yeah,
a good mulligan to take, and yeah, I think you hit it spot on with double Dwim, carry over Maxi and carry over Squirrel in hand. It just kind of makes sense to play in here as Catburger, even if you even noting that Catburger is missing 5 gold cards that you really want to have in hand and only 1 in Neuromancy.
You cannot really justify a heat wave here, not in this position, I feel like, against self-wound. So yeah, instead we do see Praise Blessing. The angle for Scoia'tael is still open, I suppose, but you need to get pirates into the graveyard at some point for it to be a viable choice.
True, and there's also, it depends here, like Catburger could maxi and click to kill the boat. At 5, you could also Marjoram and kill, but it looks like we're going to see the Aneromancy instead and go with the turtle with the double, which makes sense with the double Dwim on board. It makes a lot of sense, and also then kind of baits out the heat wave from Sanvanter.
Yeah.
Could also see, I guess you could COC it and hold the heat wave is actually probably the better way if you're going to use a tall punish here.
Yeah, considering your Sunset Wanderer is wandering out at some point out of your hand, you'll need to COC before that. Okay, so Sanvanter creates some.
Sanvanter really values and understandably really values the tall punish here, because clearly had done that math and immediately just snap played the leader charge plus the smugglers. So also makes sense to play the smugglers here, because again you have to now redraw the naval supremacy in order to get any boat value.
So how are we looking on the compass?
No compass. Yeah,
Sunset.
still no compass in hand.
Sunset is drawing a card. Oh, okay, there goes the compass.
There's the
you
compass.
Don't have anything of value, big value index, so you can just play the pirate for thinning. Sunset takes another card. You have your compass ready.
And like you said, the Scoia'tael actually is active now. There are 2 Freya's Blessings and multiple humans in the graveyard, so yeah.
Question is, are you sticking a ship? By all means, you kinda should.
So the naval supremacy will now go through for the entire round, because Catburger snap squirreled one of the Freya's Blessings. So I guess no secret Scoia'tael there.
Yeah. Also, Catburger kinda doesn't care much about getting his units damaged. Ships are more than welcome to receive it. Not Swolblood, Sigvald if you're playing that.
Makes a
we
ton
got
of sense.
Spores, right? Yeah.
Although again, Catburger again kind of misses some cards here, and so you're either going to get Sigvald, Heatwave, or Sigdriff is right, but not all 3, or not even any combination of the 2. So yeah, the Svalblood will get controlled as soon as it immediately as soon as it gets played. I mean,
yeah, at least he has Maxi to fix his draws for the next round.
For round 4, that's exactly right.
Yeah, because this kind of looks a little bit dire. Can you win with Svalblood? There was a line in Pirates Mirror before with Compass, Svalblood Finisher, but you have... Well, he has Totem. Sanvanter is playing kinda wide, but he has some armor.
And also I wonder if Sanvanter is ever going to get COC value, because Catburger can continue to play around it, with the exception of potentially exactly opts to use the Marjoram offensively. So this COC might be a throwaway. I guess it also opens the line to Camby. Like if the COC is going to play for 0 points anyway, then maybe Camby becomes an option.
Yeah, the Svalblood is a prime position for getting Cambit, so nothing you can do about it as well. So Catburger definitely should consider that. Yeah, some subpar value. We've seen offensive Marjoram, we've seen
We've seen them trade a 2 and 3 point damage card respectively. Yeah, it's both. This is the chess. This is one of my favorite things about Gwent that makes it so different from a lot of other games. Is like there's so much chess right now, and this is so great.
How big was, if you remember, the Sunset Wanderers? Was it like 10, 11?
12?
Okay, so I was kind of surprised. I went to recheck if it was the Spores play, but yeah.
Yep, snap spores from Catburger.
Not sure what was the reason for that, considering like it's a COC blocker as well.
There's the round 4 maxi that you called out. I suppose you could also discard the COC with the Bjorn now, is another line.
Yeah, that's actually after Maxi. Nice catch. It's not the greatest, but I mean, he is getting 3 power back, so to say. And your COC should not find value. Like, you have Heat Wave for that anyway. Removing something.
But I just wonder if, like, the problem is that the combi line, like, you'd have to play the Heat Wave here, right? As you Heat Wave, the opponent plays a card, then you can be. Okay, we are going to see the Bjorn get picked up. And then you play it on the 1. Yep, that makes sense. Now I mean, you may still want a Camby here, to be honest.
I mean, that's probably your only not only win con. Like your opponent, like if you don't hit Swellblood, you lose, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right. I mean, there is 3 armor on the other side. 3. I wonder if also maybe if you do you leader charge one of the fanatics? Do you heat wave one and leader charge the other so they don't flip? No, because then you can still use the totem to flip the to do the flip bullshit there too. Let's see what he takes. And it's a Kraken.
Okay, that's somewhat unexpected, but it does flip the fanatics, eliminating some of the Swellblood value. You get your Kraken back with the leader.
Also probably from the Swellblood. You have to, with the Swellblood itself. Yeah, because the totem, the line I was thinking, I think, was also incorrect, because the totem, like, you play the Swellblood, you get the damage, and then you can still use the totem flip, because I was thinking, oh, he's only got 1 leader ping, but the totem click will do the job as well. So not going to get a look. We'll see the Neuromancy here. Not going to get a look at the at heat waving the Swellblood. So maybe I don't know. Is it ever correct? It's never correct to Swellblood the totem, right? Or to heat wave the totem, rather.
Okay, so
and that'll
Kraken
do it.
Is left at 1.
Oh, wait a minute. That's got to
bomb, and
Kraken's not enough.
Who the hell nerfed Kraken? People who are buffing Kraken. The question goes straight to you. Is it really a buff when it's a direct cause of a World Cup loss? Okay, wow. Catburger by 2 points gets to victory and also gets to, well, the championship. The World Cup title is going to China. Congratulations. Yeah, that congrats. Was deserving end to today's session, by the way.
Yeah.
Like we've seen some Bjorn discarding, haven't seen that in 3 years probably. No, not exactly, but yeah, not the common play. We've seen Kraken, we've seen Kraken nerf a shot at Battle Council, maybe stop nerfing every spine card. Because especially with the Kraken that does put points back to your board if you kill it. Okay, I enjoyed the last game a lot.
I did too. A lot of things could have gone differently there. Congrats to Cat. First off, congrats to Catburger, and to Team China. Like really well played, played really well throughout the season. Put together some good decks. Obviously, did a lot of work to prepare, because I was gonna say Catburger really found the right lines there. In that final match, like super impressive. Things maybe go a little bit differently in that last game for Sanvanter if you don't play a 2-point abortage. If you draw the pirate, the last pirate that was in deck, and so that at least you play that plays for 5 instead of for the 2 for the abortage. Like, but it comes down to 2 points in the final match. I mean, you can't ask for much more than that.
Yeah, it was quite entertaining and also quite nice to have the most sweet caster, the Salty.
Wow.
That's nice work done. Thanks for joining me in the morning. I hope community appreciates the sacrifices. But the other competitions are happening as well. We'll have the roadmap, and you can see in July there is a challenger. What is a challenger, you ask? Well, let me clear it up for you. We have in June challenger qualifiers. So the qualifiers for this is that top 1 of the crown point rankings is going straight to the main tournament, but we need 3 more, and thus top 4 of crown point rankings minus the top 1, so 2 to 5 positions are competing in double elimination best of 5s, and then the rest we have 8 players competing in single elimination for 1 last position. You see prize pool, and that's where the crowdfunding goes now that we are done with the Gwent World Cup. So thank you everyone who contributed.